Alright guys, welcome to Circuit of the Americas, the first time in 2020. This is going to be our first session on track since I rebuilt the motor, which did not fix my oil burn issue, so we're still smoking. But our goal for today, especially this first session or two, is to not catch fire. Goal. Second goal, not lose oil pressure. Third goal, don't blow up the transmission. Oh, I think there's already something wrong.
Do you...
This is so classic. Son of a bitch.
You want my eyes on oil pressure?
Yeah, I think we're going back.
It's gonna be at least 30 minutes. They're doing some major repairs. They're gonna have to tweak the whole schedule. So they're gonna go.
Okay. Did something happen on the outlap?
Yeah, no, at the end of the last session, a car impacted the Armco at 7. They're okay, but there's like a hole in the Armco. They had to replace the whole section of Armco.
Wow, okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'll let you know.
Once again, shafted. Shafted. Oh my goodness.
Alright. Everything good?
Boys.
Alright, keep them in the, you want my eyes on the, pressure and the smoke?
Yeah, I mean, just generally, you don't need to like stare at it, but just generally keep an eye on it. See if anything catches your eyes. You know, if that fluctuates below 100, that's something to keep in mind.
Below 100?
Yeah, and if we see any like crazy amounts of smoke coming out the rear.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look smoky right now, so that's good.
No, I think we'll be okay, but
You need to keep my eyes open?
yeah.
Yeah. Got my things on.
I love that guy, he just doesn't care.
Yup.
That guy had some serious commitment going straight for the apex there.
Yup.
Oil temps holding. The pops and crackles with raised gas are just unreal. feeling pretty good. I think we're good there. Brakes do feel good though. Put them to the test. Oh, dude. I only had to brake for about half of that.
Huh?
Oh God, the grip. It's stupid, man. And there's tire grip limit. The Cup 2 says no thank you. Dude, I can't get over the savagery. Alright, dude, verdict is in. Head temps, 217. 217! They were running 250 before. These Cup 2s, though, they're really heat cycled out. They were screaming.
Yeah, I could feel it.
Yeah, you
especially
could,
near the end.
like when you really started to push them when they got hot. They just were like, front grip? Nah, bro.
So, We aren't on fire.
Yeah, no, I feel great. I'm sure, as you could tell, like, instantly started pushing it.
Oh, yeah.
I took, like, 2 really slow laps, and I was like, oh, we're not smoking. I was a little worried, though. It was a little hesitant in mid-RPM there on our warm-up lap and second lap. And I was like, all right, it's running well enough that I just need to get on it.
And that oil pressure is normal for...
Yeah, I was going to say, it was rock solid once we got going.
Yeah.
All right, so my plan was to actually record an intro for this video and kind of start the video and stuff like that during lunch because I had such a busy morning. But I wasn't able to do that because everything just kind of went to crap after that session. So if you saw at the very end of that session, if you had a close eye, you'll see that the water temp went up on the cooldown lap, which is really uncommon. It should have continued to go down on the cooldown lap, and that was because that was right about when it started to start leaking water. But because it happened on the cooldown lap, the engine wasn't being pushed hard, all that kind of stuff. I didn't catch it. One, because you're not able to read water temps on the stock gauges, at least that I'm aware of. You can read cylinder head temps, you can read, so you can do cylinder head temps, and you can do engine oil temps, but you can't do water temps. And then when I got back to the pits, a little bit of water was missing, like, maybe that much out of the can, or out of the expansion tank. But that's pretty normal when you refill a system and it's self-bleeding and stuff, especially when you run it hot like that. So I wasn't really that shocked. My thought was, okay, I'll just fill it up with water and check it again after the next session. Went out in the next session, and this is essentially what happened. So as you can see, everything went to crap pretty fast. So once again, because I couldn't see the water temps, I didn't see that things were already hot almost immediately. So clearly the leak had gotten much worse. It was leaking a lot faster than it did. While before I got 4 to 5 laps in without any increase in water temps or head temps or anything like that, the water temp was already pretty hot going out. I was watching cylinder head temps all day because a lot of what I did over the winter was work on better cooling. So I was really interested in keeping the cylinder head temps cool. And I noticed that we got to like 221, 223 almost immediately, which isn't out of the ordinary. So once again, I didn't really pay much attention to it. But as you can see, the water temp just slowly started going up and up and up and up. And by about, lap 4, it skyrocketed. And that's when I started to notice. I noticed by about lap 3, we were hitting about 230, 233 or something like that on cylinder head temps. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep pushing so I can see if it's going to stop. At that point, I was concerned that, okay, it's hotter, it's later in the day. It's Texas, it's finally getting hot, it's, 85 degrees. I'm concerned that, okay, now we'll see what this, cooler and all that work I did is really about. And then within the course of half a lap, it went from, climbing a degree or two every, couple minutes to just, as you saw, pinged the water temp, and the cylinder head temps went from, 233 to, 245, which was surprising. And I was like, okay, something's clearly wrong. I must, have a hot spot in the water system, or the coolant system, which is what I think I was dealing with last year. And so I was like, all right, I'll limp it back. That always worked last year. I'll be good. Well, obviously not good. Of course, it happened right after pit entrance. So I was like, all right, limp it back. Got to turn 1. It continued to get hot. And I was like, all right, I'm really going to limp it. So as you can see, I was really babying. I was like, highway cruise. And I think it's turn 12 before the back straightaway, or is it turn 11? I think it's turn 11 before the back straightaway. And my assumption is it ran out of water, essentially, because the cylinder head temps, even under that really light load for the last, minute and a half, 2 minutes, went from 245 to, by the time I was able to get off the track, it was at 271. Absolutely, brown pant moment there. But I was able to get it off the track and get it shut down, fortunately, and stuff like that. But yeah, clearly it ran out of water. So after this session, we went back, we got towed back into the pits. And obviously, the first thing I did was check water. There was no water in the expansion tank. And I had brought a lot with me, assuming that I would be doing some bleeding. So we dumped a bunch of water in, took almost an entire thing. So clearly it ran out, or the entire capacity of, what is it, like 4 gallons, I want to say, something like that. And so I was like, all right, we found what I thought was it, which was a leaking lower radiator hose. And I had trouble before the event with the band clamps that I mentioned in the previous video, the like spidery gear ones. They're not actual spider gears, but the non-OEM clamps. And I was like, okay, clearly these are crap. I'm not able to get them tight enough, or they're breaking or whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on the OEM ones because I brought them with me. So between the sessions, I put on all the OEM clamps. Everything was back to normal. Everything was tight. I couldn't get it to leak in the pits or anything like that. So I was like, all right, I figured it out, scared the bejesus out of myself. We tested the engine. It ran fine. I couldn't get it above, 215 cylinder head temps in the pits, even when I, sat there and revved it and all that kind of stuff. So we thought we were good. So we went out for a second session. I don't have any video from this because I just wasn't recording, but lap 3 and it did it all over again. So it turned out that it needs 1 RPM under load to leak, and 2, it's a bad radiator hose. So it overheated again. And fortunately, this time I was able to get it back in the pits. It happened in March, and then with all the COVID stuff and kind of, what happened with my dog Nigel early in the year, I just decided, all right, the engine, I don't want to run it again because it got so hot and it's still burning oil, as I think I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I'm just going to leave it for now, and I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to send it to Tim. Before this event, like 5 days before the event, when I was talking to Tim, the guy who did the short block, and I sent him pictures of oil still pooling on top of the valves after I did replace the valve seals. He's like, just send me the whole motor and we'll get it taken care of for you. So I need to take it out of the car and send it to him. But given everything that's going on, I've just kind of taken a 2.5, 3 month break from everything. Car hasn't been touched since I got back from COTA, but we'll go ahead and get that fixed now. But so plans for the rest of the year is I'm going to ship the engine out to Florida for Tim to take a look at. He'll go through and see if he can figure out why it's burning oil, or I should say leaking oil through the valves. And then 2, hopefully, he'll check all the clearances and make sure I didn't warp anything. But it runs. I started it up back in, when I pulled it out of the trailer, and it ran great. Wasn't smoking anymore. It wasn't eating coolant or anything like that. So I don't think we blew a head gasket. I don't think we warped anything, but we'll have him check it out just in case and do whatever refresh is needed. So that's probably going to happen here in June would be my guess. So we'll probably be out for the rest of the year, or at least the summer, with the Honey Badger. Maybe we'll be back for some of the events in the fall. So I guess that, it sucks, but it's kind of the nature of what things are going on today. The good news is I'll be getting a puppy here in June, so at least I'll have something to entertain myself. So to make it a little bit lighter, some of the things I want to talk about. One, goal going into this was to not catch fire. Redid all the oil lines, so anytime you mess with the oil lines, not catching fire is a really, it's high on the priority list. Two, the engine, didn't blow up or anything like that, so we're all good there. I do appreciate watching Batcow. I went in going, I'm going to take this session really soft and break this engine back in, break it in, all that kind of stuff. Lap 2, we're pulling the throttle down the back straightaway. Confidence in the engine was high. But as you could hear in that first session, it was running so good. It's such a bummer that it started to, we had those issues. The engine was running fantastic. The oil pressure was so good. So that GT500 oil pump pan and pickup tube much better than the FP350S one. I had we were watching the oil gauge and stuff, and we saw no fluctuations. My AccuSump light and my oil pressure light never came on, so I don't think it's better than the FP350S one. That's got a little better baffling. It's a little bigger, but definitely nothing I needed to worry about. And the oil pressure was higher. It was 5 to 10 degrees or 5 to 10 psi higher than it was with the old one. So clearly this 500 pump is fantastic. So really, really happy with all that. The other thing I want to point out, I don't know if you noticed, but during some of the braking going into turn 12, I think it is. I never get the turn numbers right, but sorry, the cat just walked in and scared the bejesus out of the dog. So going into turn 12 after the back straightaway at COTA there, I hit 1.5 braking Gs, and when I looked it up in the AIM, we were at 1.58 sustained braking Gs. I mean, this car is ridiculous. So I've modified the front splitter, and I've changed the brake ducting, and I've put on gyro disc rotors. So I'll go more into that, I think, this summer when I'm playing around with that part of the car some more. But how cool is that? 1.58. That is just ridiculous sustained braking. So this car is so fast. When I was really getting into it for the braking, going to like turn 1 and stuff, I was braking at 150, 100, 125 in there, and I was still over braking for the turn. And this, and these were on Cup 2s now that have 6 or 7 days on them. So this car is so fast. I was so bummed because I had really nice scrubs with me, and I know we would have been beating that 224 lap time that we have at COTA. So hopefully I'll be ready to go by October or December this year, and grip will be good. Everything will be cleared out, with the car, and all the health and pandemic stuff will be worked out. We'll be there, and we can get some fast lap time. So, well, thanks for watching the video. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to comment. Always happy to help. I know I feature Nala frequently in my videos, but if you're wondering who that is, wait, that's Mozzie. But we don't give him much screen time because he's an All right, see you later.